I'm not from these parts, just coming to test the waters. I'm not sure if this is the proper channel to ask some of these questions, but it's not based on anything you said prior. It's just me trying to find out what's the B.O.O.M church.
Okay.
In terms of, okay.
Probably would have to ask you a question.
Pardon me?
Go ahead.
That's the leader of this church.
Oh, fair. So I would. Okay, so like I said, it probably isn't the proper avenue.
No, it's proper. Go ahead.
Okay. No sweat. Just asking questions in terms of, like, do you guys teach the Trinity?
Do we teach the Trinity?
Yes.
From which perspective? The thought, the title, the term, or?
No, okay. Oh, well, is there a separation between God and Christ?
Is there a separation?
Yes.
In substance, in essence, or are you just talking about?
At all.
So there's a separation in that aspect of him not moving of his own. Essence, no. Because authority has been given to the Son in the earth to make decisions on certain matters when it came down to salvation.
Okay. I was just asking in terms of the idolatry behind it, deifying another entity aside from the one and only true God. So that's the only reason I was asking. I was just saying if it was.
He can't be idolatrous when all power is given to him.
That's right.
So you can't make him an idol when the Father himself says, here's the authority that I'm giving you. So if whatever he does, if the people say, acknowledges him as having authority, he's not in violation with the Father, because the Father gave him the authority. It's no different than me. If my Father gave me authority to make decisions, but people can't come to my Father and point the finger at me for doing something. When my Father said that, I turned around and gave him the authority to do it in the earth, because of the fact that you people on earth, mankind, doesn't have the authority to even have a conversation with me. So there has to be somebody, because of fallen state, we can't even talk to the Creator. So therefore, the Son stands in the middle of conversation talking with us, because the Father looks at us and talks to us this way. Or every time we talk to him, we just talking to his back. But the Son, who has the authority, who knows the mind of his Father, he stands in the place of us. That's the reason why he died. That's the reason why we have to go through him. In order for us to even get any close to the Father, the only way that happens is we got to come out of everything that we're shaped in this earth. And we won't do that until we enter into the kingdom. Okay. Then we'll know all things. Then we'll be able to see him as he is. But as long as we're in this, we ain't even having no conversation with the Creator. Only the Son.
Okay, no sir. It sounds synonymous to the kind of relationship you're setting up. It sounds synonymous to, like, King David, for instance, or King Saul. It was an authority that was placed over people as, and then you have God above him. Is that synonymous, or I'm not saying that it's the same in terms of essence or authority or anything like that, but it's just like a similar.
So yes, the question that you're asking is the Son subordinate to the Father? The Son is not a subordinate.
Okay.
He's not a subordinate. He respects the Father in the aspect of not doing anything without the Father. But he's not subordinate. He's not subordinate. Meaning that he's not lower or less than in the aspect the way we view him. See, we think earthly, but in the kingdom, that's why I said that he returns back to who he is. He had authority in the kingdom. Okay. So in the kingdom, that authority that was in the kingdom, when he came into the earth, that authority was given to him. Why? Because he has to fulfill this mission. The only way to be able to fulfill this mission, you gotta have the authority to conquer death, to conquer the grave, to conquer sin. That takes authority. You just can't do that of your own.
Right, but then who gives the authority will be the authority.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
So then it goes back to a hierarchy in essence.
Well, I mean, if you want to call it, I mean, on our jobs we have certain hierarchies, but the concept and where we're viewing it is not the same the way we review it in the earth. Right. That's why it says that the authority that he has in the earth. He talks to his Father, he hears his Father, he makes moves. But it's not as though if the Son does something that the Father's going to be in disagreement with it, because we don't even really, to be honest with you, we really can't even understand the concept fully, how the Father, the Son, and the Ruach works.
Right.
We can't even understand that.
Right. That's why Paul said it's a mystery.
It's a mystery.
Right.
We still
Mystery.
wrestling right now. We're wrestling in conversation. You're trying to come up with a concept to explain it. I'm trying to reply in the concept of relaying it, and both of us really don't have a clue the
Fullness of it, right?
Okay.
of how it works.
Right.
Okay, well, if that's what you got from this, I apologize. 'Cause
No.
I'm literally not trying to.
No. I want you to listen to me.
Okay.
I said that it was in order.
Mm-hmm.
We don't run from questions here.
Right.
So I just want you to understand that I'm not taking offense to your questions. So ask your questions and we can deal with it. So I just want you to be comfortable in asking the question, not thinking that when you leave here that you offended somebody.
Fair.
That you didn't, okay?
Fair.
All right.
Appreciate that. And understand, I'm not trying to give my understanding
I
at
got
all.
you.
I'm literally just trying to find out what the B.O.O.M church is about.
I got
You know what I'm saying? Who would you say are the Israelites today?
Who would we say this right? You're looking at them.
Ethnically, like who? If you had to give a misnomer or a title for these people, what would you give them?
I don't believe in the 12 tribe chart.
That's fine.
So I believe that many of us in here, who in this room, all of us identify as Israelites. Many of us have even, whether if you believe in science or not, through DNA. Some of us in here has done it through science.
Okay.
So for me to say that I meet a dude at the grocery store and to say that he's an Israelite because he's black would be disingenuous. Because I don't even know him.
Right.
I don't know his background, I don't know where he come from, I don't know any of that.
Okay, then when you get to know him, what would be the answer to that?
Well, it just depends. Because everybody haven't grew up impoverished.
Okay.
So the question that you asking referring to Deuteronomy 28, the curses. Everybody didn't grow up. Michael Jordan's kids won't even understand where I grew up. I grew up in the hood. They wouldn't understand that. So the curses wouldn't even fit them.
But okay, no sweat. Okay, well, I'm not speaking in terms of a 12 chart perspective, 12 tribe chart perspective. It's just what is that identifying marker? Because if you said a couple of things, you said scientifically it's been proven, then what in the DNA are you saying is the Israelite gene, quote unquote? Or you're saying that Michael Jordan's kids weren't raised impoverished, so is it poverty that means you're an Israelite? Or I'm just trying to find out, what would you consider the stamp of the identity of the Israelites? How would you know that to tell somebody in confidence you're?
Are you asking me by blood, or are you asking me by spirit?
Both, because you mentioned both,
Okay.
honestly. Because you said that if I believe in science, people have done the DNA and found that out, so you then have established the blood.
Right.
Then you also said, Michael Jordan's kids live this way and have this, then that would be more of a spiritual kind of connection or connotation. So I was just trying to understand, even both, if you have one if you stand on one versus the other, or you have something in both categories. That's just what I'm asking. Like,
well, for one, we can also look at if you're not following Torah, the curse is going to follow you. If you haven't accepted Yeshua as your Savior, the curse is going to come upon you. Now, if you have accepted Him as Savior, then we don't see the curses. And here's the reason why. Because on the other end, before Deuteronomy 28, verse 15 through 68, it tells you in 1 through 14 that if you keep in the Torah and you follow, the blessing is going to be upon you. So if you don't, then the condition of the curses will be upon you. So that cancels out any other conversations we're talking about curses for any believer. Now, for a person who is ethnically a Israelite by blood, then we got to go to John chapter 1 in verse number 9, or John 1, 7 through 11, which is the spirit at that point gives you the revelation of being Israel, gives you the revelation of who the Father is, not by the will of man, not by blood. So just because you identify as an Israelite, the whole point of B.O.O.M is to, yes, you identify as Israel, but it's not to keep you there. It's to get you to the point of identifying and know who the Messiah is through your culture, through your identity. Once you accept and know who He is, then you can appreciate your culture and identity, and that won't be the focal point of everything.
Okay, well that leads perfectly into my next question. Is it important to know your style?
We teach culture here. We don't teach it every day, or every Shabbat.
No sweat. I was just asking. Is it important? Would you say
It's not more.
is it a contingent for salvation?
No, it's no.
So whether or not you're Israelite does not mean that has nothing to do with salvation.
You've been an Israelite and get you in the kingdom.
Okay.
You knowing you're an Israelite ain't gonna get you in the kingdom.
No, I'm not saying that you knowing it. I was saying being it.
Okay, what is being?
Okay. The question, frankly, is salvation for Israel only?
No.
Okay. Next question. We got.
You want me to explain why?
Not necessarily. I mean, because that'll go down another diatribe. In terms of the law,
Okay.
is that contingent to salvation?
It depends on what part of the law you're talking about.
So-
So the law is regressive and progressive.
Pardon me?
The law was regressive and progressive.
I'm not. I don't know what that means.
Okay, the law was progressive in the fact that, see those fringes you got on,
Yes.
right? That was given in after Israel came out of Egypt, right?
Right.
Before that, there were no fringes.
Right.
So it's progressive and progressive. It's progressive in the fact that a man did what he wasn't supposed to do on the Shabbat, turned around, and they said, well, what do we do with him? Moses didn't even know what to do with him. The leaders didn't know what to do with him. So the Most High said, well, tell them to make fringes on their borders, on borders of their garments, which was a temporary thing until he put the law in your heart.
Well,
So it's
before he said that, he said stone the man. I was just throwing
right.
it out.
Yeah, he did say stone the man.
Yeah.
He told him stone the man.
Mhm.
He told him he had him. In fact, he should have repented, and then you stone him after that. Well, in that aspect, it's progressive because before that, nobody needed fringes. Right? The law was, even at that time, Abraham kept the law. Everybody, all others before him kept the law from the aspect of by the Spirit. Even the man that came in and said, yo, listen, you turn around and you going to have me take your wife. How did this man who is not even a Hebrew know about what adultery is? Why? Because at that time the Most High dealt with man in the earth, not just Israel.
Okay, so you're saying I'm just trying to.
Okay, go ahead.
Right. So as of the migration through Egypt, there's a lot of things that came about because of that. So
Yeah.
those would be the progressive things.
Those things were progressive. Only thing,
Right.
The Most High only wrote 10 laws by his hand. Everything else was given order based on situations.
But okay, fair. So the law that was kept prior to those 10 being given was what?
There were several covenants. The covenant that we know about as Israelites, that's the only thing we focus on.